Welcome back. We are in a new school year, and I wanted to welcome you to World History and Literature. This is a combined course. This is 10 credits for the school year in World History to meet your high school requirements, as well as 10th grade English. If you are a 9th grader kind of sneaking into this class, that's fine. You should be fine on the English. Just understand the standards, we're going to push you a little bit, so stand by, don't get behind. All right, without further delay, let's jump into the syllabus and take a look at what this class looks like. Class times are Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays, we're going to focus more on the world history portion. Thursdays, we're going to focus more on the English portion. Class times are 11 a.m. to 12:30. This class is co-taught. I have another teacher, Mrs. Kelly Kolb, who will be co-teaching with me. She will be focusing more on the English end of things, and I'll be focusing more on the world history things, but we will both be available to you. If you have questions or concerns, you can just reach out to either one of us. Our email address is down at the bottom of this slide. Or on the syllabus. Please note there are several signature requirements here in your syllabus. I need these back by Tuesday, our first class. I believe that's the 19th. So please bring those back. You will need one textbook, and that's the World History, the Modern World textbook. It will be more supplemental in many cases. It'll be more of a skim through type of deal. It's not a hardcore, you read every single sentence and every single word. But there will be other materials, other primary source documentation that you'll have to read, and it will be incorporated into the course over the time, over the school year. There is a driving principle. There is a sort of a mindset that I want you to get into before we dive into anything historical. And that is, I want you to think more like a detective when it comes to history. I don't want you to be a computer that just, or a sponge that just sucks up dates and facts and names and is able to kind of squeeze it all out and, regurgitate it onto a test. That's boring. That's not learning. I want you to get involved. I want you to dig deep. So get out your little Sherlock Holmes hat and pipe, or what? No pipe, no smoking. So Sherlock Holmes hat, come to the crime scene, the historical crime scene, so to speak, and we are going to forensically dissect and put things together to get behind these events. Why did they happen? What motivated them? What is the guide that is making things happen? I use Machiavelli's principle. He wrote back in the 1500s, he says, whoever wishes to foresee the future must consult the past. Kind of like, well, if you want to know what's going to happen now, you got to know the past because history repeats itself, right? We've heard that all many, many times. Why? For human events ever resemble those in preceding times. Again, history repeats itself. So if you stop there, you end up with just simply history repeats itself. So go and study history, you figure out what happened in the past, and therefore it'll happen again. Not quite. That's not where Machiavelli stops. He continues. He gives you a reason why historical events are sort of cyclical, why they happen again and again. And he says the reason why is because this arises from the fact that these historical events, are produced by men who ever have been and ever shall be, animated by the same passions, same lust, same greed, same desire for power, same want to survive, that survival instinct, those same passions that are in every single human being throughout all of history and all cultures throughout all time. Those passions inform their decisions. They come to a situation, that situation has some positives and some negatives. They see, okay, well, I could probably change and go this route, That has some risks to it, but hey, here's some benefits to that. There's some opportunities there. And they sort of weigh the two, and what causes them to pick how they're going to act, what decisions they're going to make, what serves them best, what does their passions inform them, motivate them, tell them what to do or what to pick. And that becomes those choices. And those choices then, when they are made or acted upon, they end up creating new situations, and the cycle continues. And that's sort of what this is. This is that cycle of choices. You're going to get really bored with me and this particular diagram. I'm going to go back to this again and again and again and again. I'm going to ask you, what is the situation, and what are the situations from the various different points of view? Generally speaking, not one person is put into a position, but multiple people are put into a position, and they all have perhaps different passions, different desires, they're weighing the opportunities and the risks and the problems, and they see it differently. Think of it this way. If you have a slave owner and you have a slave, and do they see slavery with the same perspective? Of course not. They're going to see problems in different ways. They're going to see opportunities in different ways. But whether you're the slave or you're the slave owner, the passions in your heart, the desires of your heart that are informing you, that drive you, that give you meaning and purpose and focus for the future, those are the same. They may express themselves differently, but they are the same. And therefore, as history goes on, those choices are going to be fed by the same sort of root, the same drive. Therefore, history repeats itself. So if we can, in our modern day, look at history, see some event, the very first thing we should do, rather than turning on our social media, is stop and go, okay, who are the parties? Who are all the parties involved, as best we can identify, and what are their situations? How are they perceiving this thing? From there, what do they have to gain, or what do they want to gain, and why? What passion is driving that? And what problems might they have to deal with if they make certain decisions? And then you're looking at the events, the decisions themselves, and going, okay, I understand better why said party, said person did what they did. I can see what is driving this particular choice or this particular event. I can work my way backwards. You're being a detective. That's what I want you to do. So these are very important, and we will do this again and again and again throughout the year. However, world history is a bit of a big, you're talking thousands and thousands of years. We can't cover thousands and thousands of years in 1 year. So I'm limiting our time frame. We are going to start our investigation right around 1760s. 1760s, the world took a huge shift. It went from being traditional in so many different ways all the way back to the beginning of time. But at the 1760s, right around the mid-1700s, life changed. Things started to happen. And boy, the world was not the same any longer. It became modern. So we are going to look at the time frame from about the mid-1700s as traditional became modern, and work all the way to about the 1950s with the Cold War. If I can, we will cover more, but generally speaking, I've taught this class several times. We usually get bogged down into some, nitty-gritty. We play detective too long in one particular spot, and we chew up our time for the year, and we don't get quite as far as I would like. But that's all right. You can go on and do it on your own if you like. So 1760 to about 1950. That's our time frame. That's our modern history. Late work, MARs. As you know, there are time frames. Whether you are doing the history or you are doing the English, there are times, there are particular expectations. Everything's in the Google Classroom. You can find out when things are going to be due. You'll have pacing guides that will go along with it, and they'll be handed out every week. So don't get behind. If you know that you have a due date, and you know that life happens, event at home happened, the family had a problem, and you know you're not going to get it done, you need to contact me or Mrs. Kolb within 24 hours of that due date, or before 24 hours of that due date. If it's due on Tuesday morning, do not call me Tuesday at 6 o'clock in the morning. That's too late. Call me Monday afternoon. Give me that 24 hours to say, okay, I'll give you another day, I'll give you another 2 days, whatever it might be. If you do not give me that 24-hour notice, it will be considered late and points will be docked. It still might be docked points if the reason for the lateness is not an emergency. Don't get too many late assignments. Don't miss assignments. You start missing assignments, you don't need many to get out of this class or to get booted out of the class. Miss several within the first couple weeks, and I guarantee you I will drop you. So be on time. Do not get yourself so far behind that you start getting missing assignments. You get too many, you get a missing assignment report. Get two, now you have everybody gathered together and we have this big council session and disciplinary action, and we figure out what we're going to do, hit the third one, and you're out of the class. So don't do that. Let us know. Keep us in communication. Keep us informed so that we know what's going on in your heads, okay? Don't make us come hunt after you, because I won't hunt after you. I'll just give you 0. All assignments will be in the Google Classroom. You'll be able to see it there. All of the reading, all the PDF files will be there. All of the videos, you'll be watching videos every week. All the links will be there that you can use. However, grades will be in the parent-student portal. That's where they ultimately have to go. I don't want to do work twice, so generally speaking, look at your parent-student portal. That is the most up-to-date grade. You might see that there are some red X's or other things that are in the parent portal. That means that they just haven't been graded yet. Don't sweat those. As long as you know, your parent knows that they're in the Google Classroom, have been submitted in class, whatever you want to, however it was supposed to be turned in. As long as you know that's done, you're okay. Once you see an M in the parent-student portal, that's missing. That is missing, and you need to correct that. You only have a short period of time to fix missing assignments. Generally speaking, I give it 1 week. If it's not in within 1 week, it will remain missing and it will go against you toward another, or go against you towards a missing assignment report. They don't stay open indefinitely, and just before grades come out at the end of the LP, you can like do a mad dash and turn them all in. I don't do that. That's just not fair to me. It's not fair to Mrs. Kolb, and we're not going to do that. So keep an eye on the parent-student portal. Your parents can log into this as well. There is an LP planner with all of the assignments on it, all of the tasks. It looks something like this. It'll be in the Google Classroom every week. Let's blow up our first portions, the first week and the intro week. You start school on Wednesday the 13th. So for that particular 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I have a small assignment for you, and we'll go over that in just a moment. And then the following week, beginning on Tuesday, you will have assignments begin. The week runs Tuesday to Tuesday, or for you, looking in the opposite direction. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I don't expect work on the weekend. Back on Monday. Have everything ready by Tuesday. If it is a English assignment, that will be assigned on Thursday. during class. You will have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or excuse me, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It is due on Thursday. We may break down assignments into parts, in which case the parts may be due earlier. Part 1, an outline, brainstorming, something along those lines, working towards the overall picture, just so that it's a little bit easier to sort of pace this and organize your time and your work. And we'll see how that goes. But as you can see from the planner, every week we have key questions. These are big ideas. You need to be able to answer those in your own words. So be sure to have it. That's kind of what I'm trying to get at in these particular weeks, the main big concepts. The videos are listed there. During week 1, beginning on Tuesday, you'll be assigned 2 videos, and they're both called Traditional versus Modern History, Part 1, Part 2, okay? Pretty easy. You go online, you watch them, and I would suggest you take notes. Why? Because the class is geared more towards the videos than they are the textbook. Textbook is a review. You're filling in or putting the gaps in, things that are not covered in the video but that are in the book. You're kind of picking up big ideas, main ideas. My suggestion is sort of grab or review through the textbook reading, take notes, key ideas, keep them because you can use them on tests, the notes on tests. But for the videos, be sure that you have really solid, good notes and that you have clear understanding. Bring questions to class. I love it when somebody says, hey, Mr. Wilson, I saw this on one of the videos this week and I didn't quite understand it, or does this mean X, Y, Z? And we'll have a discussion on it. It makes it much more interactive. Remember, you're detectives, so you should be asking lots of questions. Other than that, other than the videos, other than the textbook reading, there will always be some sort of additional homework, some sort of assignment that digs a little bit deeper. Usually they're from primary sources. So in week 1, you'll be given a book. This one's called The Time Traveler's Guide to Medieval England. And you'll be looking at one chapter out of that book, not the whole book, just that one chapter, so don't freak out. And we'll be going from there. Okay? During our English portion, our English class, there will be additional work, additional assignments, different types of reading as well. As far as I can tell, we are going to be diving into Mark Twain's The Prince and the Pauper. Will be our first novel in that particular class. And it should be pretty easy reading, but it's a fun story. And it goes very well with traditional history and the differences and how it is no longer applicable, or at least the lifestyle is not as applicable anymore. So we'll look at that. So here, this is your planner. Keep an eye on these. Watch these. This is what you've got to go. So homework assignment. What do you need to have ready by, this says Monday, my apologies. You should have it done by Monday the 18th because that's the first day of center classes. But it will be turned in Tuesday morning. So this is what you need to do. You need to go back to Machiavelli's principle and ask yourself, is Machiavelli correct? Is his assessment of why history sort of repeats itself? Is the state of human nature such that it always will produce similar outcomes? It will always inform and drive and motivate people no matter what era, what country, what time frame. Do you agree or do you not agree? You're going to write a 1-paragraph response telling me why or why not. Yes, I do. Why? No, I don't. Why? And we'll start there. That is where we will begin. So if you are ready, I'm ready. I look forward to seeing you in class on Tuesday, and we will get things up and running. So between now and then, dive into Machiavelli and the human condition. See you on Tuesday.